Hello, Adjunct faculty members teach at West Hills College, Kalinga. My name is Arkady Hunjiev. I am the Student Learning Outcomes faculty here, and I will be your trainer for today. And so let's go on to learn what are student learning outcomes. And so the first part of the agenda is just to give you a little bit of history. So student learning outcomes came on the scene at about the year 2000. The State Board of Education in California was trying to figure out how to build in accountability measurements for community colleges. And so one direction that some wanted to go was to give end-of-course exams, just like they do with the K-12 system. So at the end of each semester, there would be an official, let's say, algebra or pre-calculus exam that was given each class, and then the results sent back to the state of California. The other possibility is to have colleges self-regulate themselves, and so it will be faculty members in dialogue coming up with an exam that is important to the class, and then the faculty members give the exam and then talk about it. And so that was a way for colleges internally to make sure there's learning happening and then there's actually improvement happening. So this process is supposed to be student-centered, so it's really not so much about the faculty member. It is whether students really got the information they needed to get, and if not, then how could that be improved? And the student learning outcomes should be measurable and also meaningful to the class. One thing that I'd like to bring up is that student learning outcomes should be college-wide, which means if you teach at Lemoore, their process is completely different from ours. Their student learning outcomes are, for the most part, different from ours. So student learning outcomes should not be something that's statewide or anything. It should just be college-wide. All right, and the uses of SLOs, well, kind of really two. First of all is to meet the accreditation standards and to make sure that we are actually in process and we are moving, we can show improvement through this process. And the other one is just for us, just to make sure, yes, we are actually improving learning in the classroom. So the twofold. I'd like to give you the two circles of SLOs here, how it works out. So from a teacher's perspective, what you do is you take the time to write out outcomes for the class. So if it's like a 4-unit class, generally 3 to 4 outcomes are sufficient, and these 3 to 4 are the main ideas in the class that the students should take away. And then you identify assessments or you create assessments. And then you gather the results. And then you look at the results later, and eventually you say, oh, you know what, there's improvement to be had here. So then you make an improvement program, and then the cycle repeats itself. That is from a teacher's perspective. From a student perspective, is the students should have an idea what the expectations are for the learning, whether it's just SLOs or the class in general. But specifically here are the SLOs. So expectations have been very clear. Expectations have been communicated to those students. And then the students take a test, and their student work is collected, and then you learn the extent or determine the extent of the learning they have had of this outcome. And then if there's some strategy to implement in order to improve the student learning process, you do that. So there's that whole piece coming from a student perspective. Alright, so in general, they should be student-centered, and it's really seeking out how do the students learn the material, what's coming in from their side. And it gives us the opportunity to reflect how we teach and what we taught and really how we taught it, and is that the best way to do it. And so there is some responsibility for student learning from the faculty side, but really it is supposed to be a perspective of the student. And so then we take the time to focus on improvement and seeing how students can learn, and then we repeat the process. We test it again and saying, oh wow, that's great. Now actually they learned more, or they really figured out the process now in this experiment or this essay. Alright, part 2 of the agenda is now a little bit more closer to home. So first things first, SLOs at West Hills College should be on the syllabus. There's a syllabus check that you should turn in to the CIO secretary at the beginning of each semester, so make sure that's done. Or if you're using simple syllabus, you just create it, you publish it, and then they automatically populate the student learning outcomes. So here at the college, what we do is we run on a 2-year assessment cycle. So every single course is going to be assessed at least once every 2 years. Some faculty members choose to assess it every single year, but at bare minimum, each class is assessed every 2 years. All right, in this particular semester, so we do have an SLO assessment date. And this is when faculty come together. It is always the Friday before finals week. So adjunct faculty, if you are available and want to, there usually is an invite that's sent maybe halfway through the semester saying if you want to participate. This particular semester, it is the 8th of December. And if you want to have your calendars open that day, we do it in person as well as Zoom. So about half the faculty come in person to talk about their SLO results, and about half the faculty are in a Zoom call during that process. Alright, and then I want to post another video. This video would be all about the fall 2023 semester. It'll say fall 2023 assessment schedule. Take a look at that. And then also there's going to be another video that comes along that says this is the Lumen, this is the platform that we use, and it's just going to say inputting CSLO results. So look out for those 2 videos as they come about, probably on an email or so. Alright, the other thing I want to mention is this is your SLO committee members. So if you need to, this is the learning area that you're under, and you just need to reach out to them. Please do so. They'll be more than happy to help you with any issues that arise. Alright, and with that, I wish you a good semester.